another one just the other day, a special new band. I don't remember lying, I don't remember lying, I don't remember a word, but I don't care, I really don't care. Did you see the drummer's hair? Must no big hair. Songs mean a lot when songs are bought, and so are you. Face right down to the practice room. Tension and fame's a career. Go back to those gold sounds and keep my advent to yourself, because it's nothing I don't like. Is it a crisis or a boring change when it's central, so essential? It has a nice ring when you laugh at the low-life opinions, and they're coming to the chorus now. I keep my address to yourself, 'cause we need secrets back right now. Because I never wanna make you feel that you're social, never ignorant soul. Believe in what you wanna do, and do you think that is a major flaw? When they rise up in the falling rain, and if you stay around with your knuckles ground down the
You know, today's forecast is brought to you in 3D. Not, of course, 3 dimensions, but 3D is damp, dark, and dreary. It's going to be one of those weeks in the forecast. Not a very nice one. But since we won't be seeing the sun, figured we might as well talk about it, kind of give a nice, hopeful vibe to the forecast. So March 4th, or 1st rather, right around where we were a couple weeks ago, 5:34 was the sunset, but things are getting better and better every day. 8:14 by the time we get to June 1st. So yes, by then we'll have over 15 hours of daylight, and I can promise things will be getting better. Today, though, no sunshine to talk about. 44 under very dreary skies. A little bit of rain out there, but by no means a washout. Just kind of, like I said, that damp, dark, and dreary day. Pattern continuing tonight, and get used to it because this is going to be a rinse and repeat cycle that will stick around for quite a while. Across the northeast right now, though, we can see we have this. A lot of cloud cover on the periphery of a high-pressure system banked down to the south, but not strong enough to give us the nice sunshine we would like, all thanks to this, that storm system over Oklahoma, sitting and spinning away and giving us this, what you can see over Boston right now. Train moving across the bridge right there, Longfellow Bridge. Duck boats, too. You know, I think it's awfully cold for that, but as you can see, no snow out there, just a lot of cold air and dreariness to talk about. But if we switch on over to the north, Plymouth State up in New Hampshire, we had this only a couple hours ago. Snow squalls moving through, and they've seen off and on snow flurries throughout the morning, for which reason we have two completely different weather worlds, only about 60 miles apart. You can see snow is really trying. It's making an effort to come down, but so much dry air down by the surface within about 150, or rather 1,500 feet, that it's not reaching the ground, which, you know, makes us a little bit happy. But I actually saw a couple flurries earlier on, and I think I got PTSD to a couple winters ago. 36 right now in Boston, 37 down in Brockton, 37 Outer Cape. A little bit warmer down here because we have warm air coming up from the north, from the south rather, but 30 in Concord, you notice these temperatures well below freezing, and that is conducive to the snow we've been seeing. The weird part, though, and this is awesome, this is Gozar, the one I've been talking about, so excited about, we have this, all the cloud covering coming down from the north with that cold air. But I want to switch things for a second. I want to show you this. Notice down towards the surface, we have winds coming from the south. So you go, cold air from the north, warm winds from the south. Things aren't really not quite right, and that's a reason why we've been seeing mixed precipitation. A little bit colder in the north, a little bit warmer to the south. 44 in Boston tonight, 43 in Plymouth, and again across the area we'll reach into the 40s today and probably stay there overnight tonight. Now tomorrow, different story, 48 in Boston, but you'll think it's a little warmer than today, but we'll actually drop down quite a bit more. 34 tonight, more drizzle, late night mix possible. So again, everybody may deal with that chance of mix. Not set in stone yet, but of course it's a risk we need to talk about. Then we have our next storm system. This is the one that's going to be something to bear watching over these next few days. Spinning away over Oklahoma right now, and in that beautiful imagery, all thanks to my favorite satellite. It does have an inherent severe risk, damaging winds and hail, mainly the threats across the Arctic region. Nothing like that for us, but instead, as it pivots off to the north and to the east, by the time it gets here on Sunday, it does have plenty of cold air in place. You can see kind of a pullback right here, cold air damming. So that's why some places will likely see flurries to maybe a half-inch of snow, primarily in northern and western Mass, the Monadnock region of southern New Hampshire, Worcester Hills, and the Berkshires. But again, elsewhere, I think it's mainly just a rain event. And then we have more systems to watch. Here's the one sitting and spinning away. Here's the one for today. And then off in the Aleutian Bay in Alaska, that next one is coming ashore. And let me tell you, it is a potent one. And that is reflected in our 7-day forecast coming up in just a second. But we've been talking about rain. How much rain? Really not that much. You know, we'd hope for a washout. We really need the rain, but just kind of like this, barely an inch of rain through Tuesday, just a dreary, dreary day. So that is what we're talking about there. And over the 7-day forecast, we can see 44 and then a 48. You know, I put in many, many Mondays because it's going to feel like Monday weather through pretty much Tuesday of next week. I know it's just one of those patterns we get in storm track so close, lots of moisture to deal with, but not enough forcing, so we don't get big rain. We just get the clouds and we just get the drizzle. But finally, towards the middle of next week, 55 on Wednesday, we finally return to spring, and hey, I think that's overdue. That is my latest forecast for now. I'm Matthew Kapush, and you have a great weekend. Well, I want to show you a couple things that are cool on the radar because there's always so much to learn when you look at a weather radar, all thanks to the Doppler effect and what else we have going on. So, over Springfield right now, you'll think, wow, that is some heavy rain. But in fact, that's actually not rain at all. In fact, mixed precipitation. Today, many people have been reporting snow, many people have been reporting all sorts of stuff. But I want to take a look and see if it's actually falling because we have to invoke what's called ground truth, whether or not what we see on radar is actually happening. And if I just looked at this radar plot, I would think, well, we're probably getting some snow in Boston, a little bit of light snow. But instead, I want to show you this right here because what we end up happening, if I put this in motion, you can see the snow starts to come and it's like it's eaten up right as it heads towards Taunton. Coincidentally, Taunton is where the radar side actually is. So instead, a cool thing we can do is this beam height tool. Since the radar goes up like this, actually I probably shouldn't do that. Radar goes up like this, so right around 1,500 feet, we can see that is where the snow is disappearing. And instead, that is all thanks to the dry air we have in place. I'm going to maximize that there. So dry air is eating away the snow, and it's likely not reaching the ground. But I want to show you a couple other cool things. When we switch on over to what's called the correlation coefficient, I really like this one because it shows you a little bit of what's going on in the sky, kind of the shapes of the hydrometeors. And snow has a very distinct shape when you compare it to rain, when you compare it to hail, anything like that. And you'll notice, if I can move over here for a second, all that yellow, and that is indicative of a different type of shape, mainly little round ones, sleet pellets actually in western Mass. And the other cool thing is, what ends up happening is that the radar sees these sleet pellets, but we have a little bit of warm air near the surface, which causes them to melt a little bit, so we don't see them as sleet. Instead, we see them as rain droplets that are big drops, and that's why we see all the yellow. It's really not that intense there, but instead, the radar sees it melting and it just interprets it as a big drop of rain, and that's why we get yellow right there. Also, I want to show you a couple of cool things I saw earlier on. I don't know if they're still there. We're going to be closing out in just a second, but I'm hoping over Ohio, they might still be there, are they? Well, the features I was looking at earlier over Ohio are gone. I want to see if there's anything else cool worth looking at, and I think there is near the coast of Eureka, California. This is pretty cool. Very rarely do we see systems that have this sharp of a back edge. That's moving to Eureka. That was a significant storm system producing flooding right now, heavy rains, and even hail and snow for the higher elevations. So very cool things when you look at a weather radar. And of course, that's the latest around the country right now. And enjoy your local weather.